I've been money craving, started shoebox saving, made some puzzle placements. I know what this life gon' come with, know that they gon' go and hate it. When you make it, they gon'
Welcome back, Nationwide Sports Talk. I'm Matt Mackey, live from West Virginia. Wild and wonderful, y'all. Sitting next to me is the co-host, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Caleb Lane. Say it, Caleb, live from Morgantown. Say what's up.
What's going on, guys? Hope everyone had a great week. We're back, and hey, we talked about the new network, and here it is.
Yes, the Unhinged Sports Network is underway, and it started off with the boys from J-Dash Morning Podcast. Appreciate the intro, guys. Looking forward to doing some more with you. But give us a little about us before we start our actual episode. I'm Matt Mackey. I'm the founder of Nationwide Sports Talk. I started this podcast about 2018 summer, July. It all started me with a phone with a mic hooked up to it, upload on Podbean, and then I took the initiative, put on Apple Podcasts, went out and bought a new mic, sound better. I interview high school recruits who are nationally recruited, who are on the top level going to a prestigious college such as Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, Ole Miss, all those schools. I've interviewed guys going to one of them. And then eventually I decided to take an edge in this jump, and I needed a co-host, and that's when Caleb Lane came involved. And Caleb, just say what you think about the podcast so far, what you've done.
Yeah, so as Mackie said, he's come a long way, but I think we've come a long way since I've joined. And I've really enjoyed being on here, just being able to talk sports, be ourselves as well, and kind of build up a little fan base for ourselves too. It's nice, and I think we have a bright future in this as well, so I can't wait.
I couldn't agree more to that bright future comment you made, but with that being said, what we talk about is sports. We talk about football and NFL and college level. We talk about basketball, NBA, and college level. Those are the four main things and topics we discuss. If anything highlighted and breaking news breaks, we talk about that as well. We talk about anything and everything, and we always enjoy feedback. So while you're listening, drop a comment and say, hey, I want to talk on here. Y'all talk about this. What do y'all think about it? We'll give it to you. We give our fans what they want because they're the reason why we are doing it. It's just cut and clear right there. You guys are the reasons why we're doing this, so we got to hear from y'all, and we want to hear what y'all think. Am I right, Caleb?
Yeah, you hit it spot on.
All right, now, time for the episode, which y'all really came here for, the good stuff, the good juicy news, and we're here to break it down to you in fashion and in good style. So first, we're starting NBA playoffs. Caleb, the Lakers beat the Nuggets 4-1 in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. What we thought would be a Game 7 series, the Celtics lost to the Heat in a 4-2 fashion. What was your takeaway from those both series, and what did you see who's going to be the true champion?
I think it's kind of cut and clear who the true champion is, or will be. Last episode I favored the Heat in Game 7, but just watching the game last night, you truly understand how dominant this Lakers team is. Because they're going up against obviously a really good team in the Heat. I think the biggest struggle for the Heat is right now they're young. And then obviously going up against LeBron in year 17 doing unreal things is another topic. But however, I do have to get a lot of credit to Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley for what they've done down there in Miami. They've found talent, gone out and got undrafted guys, got Tyler Hero, who I think, was a steal at where they got him. And you see what they've done with it. They've ran with it.
Yes, I agree. The young talent they brought in, bringing a veteran leadership such as Jimmy Butler. And technically, I feel like Goran Dragic can be a veteran leader too.
Mm-hmm.
But having the key pieces around him, which is what Jimmy needed, that's why he wasn't happy in Timberwolves. That's why he wasn't happy in the 76ers. So
I think another key part of that team too, and I think a lot of people forget about is Andre Iguodala too. A key veteran. This is his 7th time in the finals, I believe. So
it is.
So, key part, and he's been, I think, a finals MVP 2 times?
1 time.
Okay, 1 time. I know it was with the Warriors. I know if he had one with the Nuggets before.
Yeah, the Nuggets never won with them.
That's right.
But, yes, he has been in the NBA Finals plenty of times. has an NBA Finals MVP under his belt with the Golden State Warriors' first title win in that run they had. But with him on the bench, coming off the bench, it's an impact for sure because he can give you 15 points, and that's what he did in that Game 6 versus the Celtics they did. But I think their biggest, what can I say, not biggest key, but the biggest impact player who needs to perform every night isn't Jimmy Butler. It's Bam Adebayo. That's my – because he dropped 32 points in that Game 6, 12-point win against the Celtics. But last night, since we know who's going to be finals, Lakers and Heat, last night in that Game 1, he did not perform so well. Let's just say the whole Heat team didn't perform well at all. Bam only had 8 points.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard, though, when you have Anthony Davis and LeBron down there on top of Dwight Howard or who else is their center that they have?
Joe McGee, Dwight Howard.
JaVale McGee, yeah. So two tough centers, especially in Dwight Howard and then Anthony Davis down there as well. I think if the Heat win this, they win off of them making threes.
Yes.
It's all going to really rely on can they make threes. And running the court is going to be a big thing for them too. I mean, the Lakers can run the court, but they're older. They don't, you said something about it last episode. LeBron, doesn't want to play hard defense every possession when he's in year 17. I mean,
No.
Yeah, he wants to play defense, but not, every possession, trying his heart out on defense. And I think that's where they can win this game is if they just make their threes and run transition, but that's going to be tough to do for them.
Yeah, they shot 11th for 35 threes last night in Game 1. Their man, Duncan Robinson, who's a killer three-point shooter in the league, he's proven that, went 0 for 3. Tyler Hero went 2 for 8. And with him coming on the bench with only 14 points, Bam having 8, and their leading scorer having 23, which is Jimmy Butler, you won't win a game that way. And I technically was watching the game and was hearing the announcers, and they hit it spot on. The Lakers pretty much bullied them. That's what I'm saying. They bullied them. I mean, Anthony Davis had 34 points. LeBron had 25. So, those two guys right there, you can't stop that duo. You really can't because LeBron can hit any clutch shot he wants to at any point, anywhere on the court. And Anthony Davis, if LeBron misses that clutch shot, he can easily put it back in.
Yeah, I think the key player is Anthony Davis in this series just because, I mean, he's so athletic at being 7 feet tall. It's unreal. I mean, the man was a point guard in high school before he hit his growth spurt, and now he's, one of the top power forwards, if not the top power forward in the game.
I think he is the top.
So, if he comes out and just performs like that every night, I want to say it's probably Lakers in 4.
Yeah, they won by 18 last night, and from what I've seen, I don't think the Heat have an answer for all the pieces the Lakers bring to the game. I mean, yeah, they have LeBron and AD, but they have key role players around them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Davis Pope is finally stepping up. Danny Green will give you an easy 15 points a game if he needs to. And then off the bench, you have Alex Caruso. Kyle Kuzma's coming off the bench now. Rondo. You have a lot of other people coming off, and just the fact they bring in so many people. They're running with – they ran last night with everyone on their team besides JaVale McGee.
Yeah, everyone at least got a minute. You see Jared Dudley got a minute, J.R. Smith got a minute, and Quinn Cook got a minute. So,
other guys got 18, 22, 25, and 22. So they're running with 9 people coming in and out. The Heat, if you look at their squad, it's kind of the same thing for them, but it's the fact that are they really making an impact when they're in the game? I don't see –
Kelly Olynyk, not really. I mean, he shot 20% when he came in, and he was in for 18 minutes. Kendrick Nunn came in and scored 18, so, that's nice. But it's tough when I mean, it's tough
If they're going to
when,
bring
like I
someone
said,
off the
AD's
bench,
just
they gotta
dropping
stop.
32 a night.
Yeah. If they bring someone off the bench, they got to stop AD.
Yeah. And I think the Heat run the best defense to kind of stop AD. It's just I think they need another big man to run that defense to be able to stop AD
Yeah.
because he's so good. And then you add LeBron in there. That's just another person you have to focus on. So it's tough. It's tough for the Heat. But hey, I mean they've had a hell of a run. So I mean I have to give it to them.
Yeah, like they say, Cinderella stories come to end eventually. I mean,
Yeah, but I don't think we'll be missing them in the finals. Like we'll be in the finals probably again next year, or make a decent run for it.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, the East just it's not competitive, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into another episode, buddy, because we've been saying that it's a lopsided league.
It is very,
100%. All
and
right.
especially with the Heat beating the Bucks in the series one.
So, do you think that the Lakers are going to sweep them?
I think the Heat get in 1 or 2, but I'll say
Two
Lakers
is a
in 5.
bold prediction. 2 is a bold prediction. So,
I mean, hey, I'll give them 2. Lakers in 5.
I want to say 5 so bad just to be fair, but by the way it looked last night, it probably could be a sweep.
Yeah, I mean, I did see a lot of people say that.
Let the confetti fall off to game 4. Let's be real. So, now we're going to move on to our college football spot of the program. And what we do every week for you Unhinged Network new supporters, what we do is we pinpoint 5 key players every week, and we call it our 5-star performance weekend. So what we do, Caleb picks 5 players, I pick 5 players, and we just list off their stats and how they performed that game, and they're a 5-star that week. I mean, yeah, they come out of high school, they could have been a 3-star, 2-star, 4-star, but for this weekend, they're a 5-star performer. So, Caleb, kicking me off with number 5.
My number 5 is Skylar Thompson from TCU, Kansas State, their quarterback. He was 18 for 25, 334 yards, 1 touchdown, and then he had 3 rushing touchdowns on top of that. And they pulled a very big upset as they beat Oklahoma in Norman. And that's 2 years in a row Oklahoma's lost to them.
Yeah, so, that was surprising. We'll talk about that later on.
Yeah.
My number 5 player is Brenton Nelson, a safety out of Virginia. Usually on this, we don't talk about defense players, but I always throw the curveball to Caleb. Sometimes you can ask him. I do all the time. But Brenton Nelson had 2 tackles, 2 picks versus Duke, and a 38-20 win in their debut of the season.
My number 4, you already know, Bo Nix. Had to put him on here. He was 16 for 27, 233 yards, and 3 touchdowns as he got a nice victory over Kentucky.
My number 4 is Kyle Pitts, the tight end out of Florida. At 8 catches, 107 yards, and 4 TDs in that big one over Ole Miss, 51-35.
My number 3 guy is Jalen Robinson, wide receiver from UCF. 9 receptions, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Just so y'all know, you'll catch on that Caleb loves his UCF guys and Bo Nix. You'll catch on quick.
Very quick.
My number 3 guy is Daytrick Carrington, the running back out of Appalachian State. 32 carries, 211 yards, and 4 TDs in a monster win over Campbell, 52-21.
My number 2 guy is Cameron Carroll out of Tulsa. He had 15 carries, 163 yards, and 3 touchdowns, and a blowout win over Southern Miss, 66-24.
Number 2, coming from the SEC, Kyle Trask, quarterback from Florida, went 30 for 42, 416 yards, and 6 TDs versus Ole Miss in that 51-35 win.
My number 1 guy, KJ Costello from Mississippi State. He was 36 for 60, 623 yards, and 5 touchdowns as I believe it was the first time a national championship team lost in their home opener.
Yes, very first time.
So they beat LSU.
So what happens very rarely is Caleb and I have the same number 1. My number 1 is KJ Costello, quarterback at Mississippi State. Caleb's the stats, and he had a very well performance after being a transfer from Stanford and that big opening winner for Mississippi State against the defending national champions LSU, 44-34. So that's 5-star weekend. Athletes, who are on the list, you're performing well. Keep it up, and you'll definitely, hopefully, be on the list again next week. So let's talk about this past weekend at college football. There's two big highlights the whole entire week. Kansas State upsets Oklahoma, and Mississippi State beats LSU. Let's talk about that upset win for Kansas State.
Yeah, I got the pleasure of watching that game. And, I mean, we all know that Kansas State's always had a good defense. Like, they've always been known for their defensive teams. But this team is like, I think they said they had 2 cornerbacks out, and then they had like 2 second-string corners in. Their third-string safety was in, and I think their a defensive lineman was in that was like second or third string. So, I mean, they were down some, good players into their depth chart and still came out with a good win in Norman over the number 3 team in the nation. And tells you a lot about this Kansas State team and program because they've been a good program for a while. I mean, they haven't been in the top 25 in a while, but 2 years in a row they've beaten Oklahoma. Yeah,
they're always a good match for Oklahoma because it literally, I think it relies on Oklahoma's season that year. With Spencer Rattler throwing 3 picks and only 4 TDs, you won't win the ballgame that way. That's just a fact right there. But he had 387 yards. So with all that, I mean, I feel like it stunned me. Kansas State shut out Oklahoma in the fourth quarter. They didn't score a single point. Kansas State rallied 17 points in the fourth quarter to get the win. So to me, it's crazy to think that Oklahoma, who we thought was going to be a top dog, can be stopped in the fourth quarter when the game really is. That's when it matters the most, the fourth quarter, the last quarter of the game. But not being able to score a single point, not even a field goal, it kind of surprised me, caught me off guard because I'm not used to that from Oklahoma.
Yeah. So let's talk about I know the network put out something on their – I don't know if you saw it, a little poll asking if this ruined the Big 12's chances of getting into the college football playoffs. Do you believe that loss ruins the chances or –
I don't think so because you have a chance for the teams. Like, say Texas goes undefeated and beats Oklahoma.
Yeah, I don't think Texas will go undefeated, honestly. I think Kansas State will probably beat them. I think they could probably upset them as well. I mean, I was kind of 50-50 on it. I think with the amount of teams that we're seeing that are good this year, I think it possibly could. I mean, the Big 12, I don't see a lot of respect given to Big 12 teams unless you're Oklahoma or Texas. And I think with that loss on the record, it's like, okay, well, that ruins your chances.
I agree with that. It's just the fact that there's no other team in the Pac-12 that could take their spot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I feel like they'd probably pick another SEC team or another – I don't really think another Big Ten team would be in there.
I mean, they could have another Big Ten team. You say, like, Michigan performs very well against Ohio State, goes undefeated, and just loses to Ohio State by 2 – by 3.
Not happening.
And the SEC, I mean, there's so many good talented teams. I mean, who knows what Mississippi State can do this year?
With that upset win, I think they probably have high chance of being at least a top 10 team this year.
So let's talk about that now. All right. So Mississippi State has a new coach of Mike Leach, a new transfer quarterback who came from the Pac-12 too, because he played at Stanford, KJ Costello. Now, we always talk about how Pac-12 teams aren't that dominant. Caleb, with that being said, and what we saw on Saturday, the Pac-12 can compete with the SEC, I think. It's a Pac-12 coach with a Pac-12 quarterback.
Yeah, I just think it's I don't know what it is with the Pac-12 either because they get top talent.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how they're not performing because I would think he was probably getting a little bit better talent out there than he was here at Mississippi State. I mean, at least coming in. I know his name probably carries some weight, so I think if he came out to you and reached out to you saying he wanted to offer you a scholarship, I'm pretty sure some players would accept that. But yeah, I agree with that. I mean, just to be able to see that Mississippi State can come back in and really haven't been a relevant team in a while. I think since Dak Prescott was there.
Yeah,
was a really last time they were relevant. And they were, I think, a top 25 team at that time.
they were ranked number 1 at the time.
Yeah. So I think, this is good for the Mississippi State program. Like, this is something that you can build off of. And that's a big step in that direction too, beating the defending national champions.
So with that being said, hold on, man, Caleb. Is LSU that bad?
I just think it was Joe Burrow. Like, I just think it was Joe Burrow's year last year. So I think they're probably going to struggle this year. I mean, I just think Mississippi State's probably that good. I mean, yeah. I mean, I was going to say, is that too much of an overhype? Yeah, I just think that they're that good. I don't think LSU is a terrible team. I don't think they're going to have a fall off year and fall out of the top 25 and do terrible this year. I just think Mississippi State's that good.
Yeah, I agree with KJ Costello coming to play that because that man can ball. He balled out at Stanford. I'm not going to lie, he did. It's just the fact that you lost your key players.
Yeah,
Justin Jefferson, Joe Burrow lost it. Patrick Queen on defense lost him.
What? I mean, can you answer that question? Like, what is it with the Pac-12?
With the Pac-12, I just think so. You said they get better recruiting, kind of more talented. The Pac-12 gets all the West Coast players: California's, Oregon's, Washington's, Colorado's, Utah, that kind of thing. So they get the high-speed players because I think that's what that football is all about over there. It's all about tempo, high speed, running. And when it comes to SEC, with Mississippi State, let's say, they get the back burner of the people getting recruited, because usually if you're down there in the South, you want to go to Alabama, you want to go to Georgia, you want to go to Auburn, you want to go to LSU. Those are the 4 main schools you want to go to.
You have a little bit more to prove.
Yeah. So with the Pac-12, I think it's all scattered out because you want to go to Stanford, you want to go to Oregon, you want to go to Washington, who's had a great history. Washington State was on the rise with Mike Leach there. You definitely go to USC, Colorado. They were
Oregon.
Yeah. I mean, there's teams you don't want to go to in the Pac-12, but there's teams you do want to go to.
Yeah.
But with SEC football, there's like the 4 top dynamic programs getting the best of the best. When it comes to Pac-12, it's like 6 scattered across the board.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't understand how. I mean, I guess USC last year was a really good team, so I can't really say that. But we don't really see any Pac-12s doing that great this year, I don't think.
Well, they haven't played yet.
Yeah, I still don't see
They
any
haven't played
Pac-12
yet.
teams doing that great, especially not USC. But
I think USC is the only good program out of the Pac-12.
You said what?
I think USC would be the only good program out of the Pac-12.
Yeah, I mean, Oregon had a huge downfall.
I mean, they lost Herbert. Their star, who was supposed to be like a number 1 overall pick, their left tackle, he's not playing this year. Stanford lost everybody.
Yeah.
Hello, their quarterback.
I definitely think USC is the best team out of there, but I don't think they'll be too great still. So.
I mean, we'll find out when they play because they're playing in the first week of November,
couple
right?
Weeks, yeah. Yeah.
So, with all that being said, there's some best games to look forward to this week in college football, Caleb. You know I'm right. And you're about to watch one with your boy. He's playing in it. Number 7, Auburn, is taking on number 4, Georgia. I like this game a lot. Not because the rankings, but it's because it's going to see where Bo Nix is at going into the second year.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what he can do, what he's developed over the offseason. And I want to see what Georgia's about for being number 4 in the nation and what they can do against stellar performers without their quarterback Jake Fromm, who it felt like that he was there for years, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
So this game, what do you like, Caleb?
I'm gonna go with Auburn. I just think, everyone knows my high hopes I have for Bo Nix. And like you said, just losing Jake Fromm was a big part of that offense for Georgia.
Not just him, DeAndre Swift too.
Said what?
Not just him, DeAndre Swift too.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, though, Georgia's one of those top-tier programs that everyone's going to kind of want to go to out of the SEC, so they're obviously going to always have good talent. I just think Auburn has the upper hand in this one. Coaching, quarterback, and he's pretty mobile.
Like Bo Nix.
Hey, he's a dog.
No, I like Auburn a lot in this game because of Bo Nix, honestly. I think he played very well, against Kentucky last weekend. I mean, 3 for 3 TDs. They played a more, I feel like, tougher game week 1 than what Arkansas played. I mean, than what Georgia played playing Arkansas. With that being said, I like Auburn in this one, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be a very tight one. I'm going to say within like a touchdown range.
Yeah, I was going to say within 7 to 10.
But look for a lot of points.
I just don't think that in the key moment they can score, right? Georgia can score right now. And, I mean, they kind of struggle with that with Jake Fromm as well, too. So, I don't know. It's been pretty tough for Georgia, I think, a little bit. They've lost a lot of heartbreaking games.
Oh, yeah, by close ones, too. I mean, their star kicker left, Blankenship. He ain't there anymore. He can't get him out of troubled times. That's not the word I was looking for, but it fit well. But next good game to look forward to is another SEC matchup. Number 13, Texas A&M taking on number 2, Alabama. This one kind of means like a no-brainer. I like Alabama a lot, no matter what. But like my question is this: why is every single year Texas A&M is in the top 15?
I don't know.
When they don't prove anything.
I don't know. I feel like they're probably one of the biggest, like most overhyped teams. I mean, I can kind of see it though because it's an SEC team, and when the rankings came out, they weren't planning on Pac-12 teams being in there. They weren't planning on Big Ten teams being in there, and that's why you see Louisiana in there, and I think Texas A&M too. But I mean, even last year they started out at 15, wasn't it?
Yeah, they literally start out top 15 every single year.
But I don't understand because they usually finish around 25th, if not like
unranked.
Yeah.
I mean, week 1 A&M played Vanderbilt. And Vanderbilt's not really that good in football. We all know this. They beat them 17-12. That was the final score of the game, 17-12. And you have your returning quarterback, Kellen Mond, who's going his senior year, who, I mean, he can be a performer, not going to lie. He really can be. It's the fact that you beat them by 5. And then Alabama coming in the first game playing Missouri, who has a very well cast coming back. Missouri does. Better than Vanderbilt, and get the jitters out of the way, 1 by 19. But that's what Alabama does every year. They come out slow. They got to get their pieces well together. They have a new quarterback with Mac Jones coming in. So I'm liking Alabama in this one by double digits.
Yeah, I think they might put up probably like 50 or 60 on them. I mean, Alabama's just a dominant team. That Nick Saban offense is ridiculous. I mean, I can't even say offense because the Nick Saban team is just ridiculous. But yeah, I think it's going to be probably a blowout.
Yeah, 100%. Now, the last and final best game to look forward to, I think this weekend is a match between a ranked versus non-ranked team. And if y'all catch on a lot, I like watching these matches the most. I like watching the unranked teams because they don't get a lot of hype. But number 25, Memphis, taking on SMU, who's not ranked. I like this matchup because it's Brady White versus Shane Buechele, the quarterback battle. Shane Buechele we love on Nationwide Sports. We love talking about that kid. We like talking about what he's been through, what he's done, and how he performs very well. With SMU being 3-0, Memphis only played one game, and they were 1-0, beating Arkansas State by only 13. Now, Memphis and SMU, they put up points. They put up numbers. It's always a high-scoring game. It's always like 50-something to 40-something or 50 to 50-something. It's out there. It's a great matchup every single time. But what do you like about this matchup? Who do you like?
I like SMU. Excuse me. I just think that they can score the ball so well, like you said, with Shane Buechele back there. And I think a big question for them though is their defense, and it always has been.
It always will be.
But I just think they can put up more numbers. I mean, in the long run, I think if they need that final drive to get down the field, I think Shane Buechele would be able to. And I mean, Memphis isn't really known for their defense as well, so it's pretty much an offensive battle.
Yeah, I think this game will come down to whoever has the ball last.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I mean that's what has to happen every single year. But
or if a team can get a turnover and just go up 2 touchdowns, that's going to be a key point in the game. But other than that, I think, like you said, last team get the ball.
I mean, but I give the edge to SMU because they're the better running back. I like UCLA's Bailey a lot. I mean, so far this year, he's ran the ball 6 times and has 380 yards with 7 TDs. Just the fact that they have a high-powered quarterback, a nice running back there, and a solid go-to receiver with Rice. I like the SMU more than Memphis, but it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I think SMU will come out on top. Even though everyone's thinking Memphis because of what they're bringing to the table, Brady White, because I ain't gonna lie, Brady White is a hell of a quarterback. He is a hell of a quarterback. He'll get you the ball downfield. He'll make a drive for you if he needs to. And this being his senior year, he ain't going out without a fight. That's a promise.
I agree with that.
So now moving on to some NFL picks, NFL takeaways from this past weekend as well. So every week, Kevin and I pick NFL picks. We do a season tally of who has the best picks at the end of the season. But we'll get into that after we do the takeaways first. This past takeaway this weekend, the Falcons choke again.
Can't believe it.
Blew a big lead on the Cowboys 2 weeks ago. This past weekend, blew a 16-point lead on the Bears.
I picked the Bears, or did I pick the Falcons?
We both picked the Falcons.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I mean, the Bears, like we both said that the Bears defense obviously is one of the best in the leagues. Their offense was really in question with Trubisky in the backfield. And then Nick Foles, comes in the third quarter after they bench Trubisky and brings this team back. And I think he got the start for next week as well. So.
Oh yeah, he should.
I mean, we'll see how this Bears team does, but this Falcons team, it's not looking good for them. I thought they at least had wild card hopes, but right now it's not looking good.
It's looking a little rough for them, that's a fact. Another takeaway. Josh Allen is the most underrated quarterback in the league. Put some respect on his name. I have said it week after week. I said after he got drafted, he'll be the best quarterback out of this draft. And what has he been doing? Been balling out. And what has anyone said about him? Nothing. They give him no type of respect. They say, oh, he has a good arm. He has a good arm. No, that man can run the ball too. I mean, this season so far, out of 3 games, 1,038 yards, 10 TDs, 1 pick. 1 pick. Now, that boy can run as well. I mean, this season so far, it's not as much as it's been, but it's only been 3 games. I mean, he's pushing a good bit of 80 yards this year so far. But the way he trucks the linemen, stiff arms linebackers, the fact that when are y'all going to finally respect him?
I don't know if they will. I mean, I said something about it last episode. Sam Darnold gets more respect than him, and he does not
Exactly.
deserve it. He doesn't deserve it at all. So I don't know. I mean, what more does he have to prove? Does he? I mean, obviously people are going to say if he wins a Super Bowl, but that team is not built for that right now. And you have so many good teams in the league that are going to be good forever. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is in that league, and it's tough. It's
Yeah.
tough to win. So I don't know. I don't know what else more he has to do. Maybe we should reach out to him, see if he knows what else he needs to do, because we don't know.
I love me some Josh Allen. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And me as a Cowboys fan, I'll take him over Dak any day. 100%.
Yeah, I do believe he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and it's just crazy to me that he does not get any respect.
So, next and final takeaway. Russell Wilson is balling like an MVP. True or fact? True or false?
True. I mean, there's nothing else you can say about it. I want to say he's the best player in the league right now.
14
Hands down.
TDs. 14 TDs in 3 games.
What about DK Metcalf and that fumble for the touchback? I know you were happy about it.
I was happy about it, but we still lost the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough game for you guys to win, though. I mean, this is coming from a Redskins fan. I give a lot of credit to the Cowboys. They put up a hell of a fight against that team.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, Dak threw 2 interceptions, but he played well. I mean, Zeke only running from the ball for 34 yards did not help at all either.
Not at all.
Other than that, I mean, y'all played well with a pretty shaken up defense. I remember them saying, I believe.
Banish was out. Sean Lee was out. Our DBs have been trashed since Byron Jones left. We just got a Jalen Smith back at linebacker, and I mean, we have a good D-line. I'll say that. We have a solid with Alden Smith and Marcus Lawrence, Tyron Crawford, all those guys. But we have a solid defensive line. It's the fact that when you're playing Russell Wilson,
you gotta have good DBs.
Yeah,
you gotta have excellent DBs,
because the Seahawks, they rely on the big plays.
Mm-hmm.
They rely on those a lot, and
you gotta have a lot of disciplined players to go up against Russell Wilson, because I mean, watching that game, there were so many times where he would get out of the pocket, but he wouldn't run the ball. You know, he would just get out of the pocket, stand there, and then chuck the ball, 30, 40 yards. And, if you're not disciplined to that, and if you're a cornerback and you're, coming up from a curl route and you want to try to smack Russell Wilson, then you just gave up probably a touchdown. So
facts.
It's tough. It's very tough to go up against him.
So now, moving on to our NFL picks. Last week, Caleb went 8-5-1 because the Bengals and Eagles tied, Caleb. Let's talk about that real quick. The Eagles are that bad, aren't they?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, that's all we got to say. They're just that bad.
I don't even know.
And then I went 9-4-1. As well. So putting the season total at Caleb is 19-10-1. I'm 22-7-1. So to kick things off for this week, we got the Bears taking on the Colts in Chicago.
This is a tough one for me. Obviously have high hopes for the Colts, but Bears look really good. I'm gonna go Indy.
You're going with the Colts?
Yeah.
I'm going with the Bears because Nick Foles is starting. They got a good receiver, Allen Robinson, solid running back duo, and a good defense. So I'm going with the Bears.
Colts win this if Phillip Rivers performs well.
So the Bears are going to win. All right. Jacksonville taking on the Bengals.
I like the Bengals in this, honestly. I think they can improve off that tie with a good team. I mean, the Eagles aren't a bad team, but
I'm
They
wondering
played
when.
bad.
Yeah, I'm wondering when they're going to bench Wentz.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at this Bengals offense, and it's a really good offense. Like I have high hopes for this offense, obviously. Um, I don't. I think Joe Burrow could possibly make these DBs suffer this weekend.
We'll find out. I like the Bengals as well against Jacksonville. I just don't think the Jaguars. I mean, I've said that week 1 when they beat the Colts, but I like the Bengals. Let's say that. Oh, right. Saints and Lions.
I like the Saints.
Like the Saints as well. Like, this is going to be a bounce back for them. Losing 2 weeks in a row. Wasn't it?
Yeah, because they won week 1.
1 week, 2 weeks in a row. I like the Saints bouncing back because the offense they got, they need to perform very well. Cowboys and Browns.
I like the Cowboys.
I like the Cowboys too. I don't think the Browns, being the Washington is a big hoorah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, not to toot Washington's own horn, but they performed well in the second half without Chase Young and Iodonis. So I think Cowboys will probably get this easy win.
Next one, Seahawks and Dolphins.
Seahawks can't go
Seahawks,
against Russell Wilson this year.
you definitely cannot. That man's going off. Buccaneers and Chargers.
I like the Buccaneers. I think they're starting to find their groove, and this team's going to be deadly.
I like the Buccaneers as well. I couldn't agree more. I think that Tom Brady's finally clicking a little bit with his offense he's got. Chris Godwin came back last week, went off. So I think it's going to be a good season so far.
That Chargers team is clicking, though, too. They're starting to click a little bit.
A little bit. Ravens and Washington.
Ravens.
I bet. So you pick Washington just because you're being biased. I'm calling you a fool. Yeah, I said it.
I'm going Ravens.
All right, Ravens as well. Lamar Jackson's going to blow by that Washington defense. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Cardinals and Panthers.
I like the Cardinals. Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins is an unreal duo. And then Kyler Murray being able to scramble on top of that, it's tough.
I like the Cardinals as well for the same exact reason. But if Christian McCaffrey was playing, I would pick the Panthers, to be honest.
Teddy's playing well. Teddy Bridgewater's performing well down there. I'm happy to see that. I think he kind of found his home until he can ride out the rest of his career.
Yeah, I agree with that one, my man. Vikings and Texans battle of 2 0-3 teams.
I like the Texans. The way they've had 3 very tough games. I mean, they've played the 3 best teams probably in the league, or 3 of the best teams. And the Vikings have struggled against pretty bad teams. So I like the Texans.
I like the Vikings only because the Vikings have more pieces to work with than the Texans do.
I mean, this is a tough game for them too. I mean, no one really expected the Vikings to struggle this year with all the weapons that they have. But I don't know. I just think that the way they've performed these past games, I think they could pull out this win, especially with the way that good old Kirk Cousins has been performing down there.
Yeah. Next game, Giants and Rams.
Rams.
I like the Rams too. I don't think the Giants can stop what the Rams bring to the table because that Rams team look. I mean, they look good last week against the Bills. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, without Saquon, they'll struggle too.
Yeah, Patriots and Chiefs.
I like the Chiefs. I think it's gonna be a close one though.
I like the Patriots. I do. I don't know why, but I do. I think the Patriots defense is better on that hand. I think the Patriots can score on that Chiefs defense. That's why.
Yeah, I just don't know if they can put up these same amount of numbers though.
We'll see. We'll see, buddy. Bills and Raiders.
I like the Bills in this.
You know I'm going with my boy Josh Allen going 4-0. That's what he's going to do. So right now the Steelers and Titans game is postponed.
I think until Tuesday.
Yeah, they're looking forward to moving the game. So if the game plays, who you like?
I like the Steelers. Big Ben's been having a hell of a year, and him and Cam are definitely the front runners, like we said, for comeback player of the years.
Yeah, I like the Steelers as well this week. The Titans, knit and grid for that win against the Vikings last week. I think the Steelers are performing well. Big Ben's doing well. Benny Snell's running the ball well. Same as James Conner. And you can never go against that Steelers defense they have. For Sunday Night Football, 49ers and Eagles.
49ers. Eagles are
yeah, they're bad. I like the 49ers too. I just think that this is going to be injuries are occurring, but this game won't affect them at all because the Eagles have injuries as well, but also the 49ers have a better team talent-wise. Monday Night Football. The Choke Kings himself, Falcons, take on the Packers. I think this is a no-brainer for you, Caleb. You going with the Falcons, right?
No, I am going with the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is having a hell of a year as well. And Aaron Jones is starting to go off too. Well, I wouldn't say starting to go off because he's been going on for a while. But, yeah, I mean, I really think this Packers team could be a contender if they had another receiver.
Yes, 100%.
I really do. But they wanted to pick good old Utah quarterback, Jordan Love.
State. Put some respect on his name.
Utah State, sorry.
I'm going with the Packers as well. I think Aaron Rodgers is performing well. He's proven himself, and he's like saying, go ahead, bring this guy, and you'll see what you can do without me. But it won't be much because I'm doing very well, sitting 3-0. So that's the picks of the week. We do that every single week. We do the tallies and add them up, and whoever has the most wins over the course of the season just gets bragging rights. Let's just say this. I won last season, beat Caleb, blew him out. I had 12 more wins than him. It wasn't even competition. Let's be real.
I had a lot of faith in some pretty bad teams last year.
Yes, he did. He picked the underdog in a lot of games. Don't know why, but Caleb is a mindset for that. He has a mindset for that.
Hey, someone's always counting in the underdogs, and that's me. I believe in the underdogs. Like the Colts, I always have high hopes for them. They somehow let me down. But this week, they won't.
Watch. They won't beat the Bears.
They will.
The Falcons have better offense than the Colts, buddy.
They do, but, hey, the Colts are still winning it. The Falcons don't have a good defense. Colts do.
You got me there. You're right on that one.
So,
episode is in the books. Caleb, go ahead and say your peace, love, and goodbye for the viewers.
Well, guys, it's another episode like Matthew said. We'll see you guys next week. Watch some sports this week. Probably we'll see how this NBA Finals goes by the time we talk next time. And see you guys next week.
For sure. So next Monday, we'll be back at 10 a.m. back on the Unhinged Sports Network. And we'll catch our podcast on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Nationwide Sports Talk. Look it up. It's a good one to listen to. I'm Matt Mackey. Peacing out live from West Virginia. Coming up next, the Gridiron Gallery on the Unhinged Sports Network. Peace.